Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you what I'm making for dinner tonight. It's a white bean chicken chili, and then I'm also gonna make some no-bake cookies. Just like everybody, I love comfort food during the holidays, and it's a bit chilly outside today, so I figured a soup would be perfect. I've got my coffee brewed, I've got a candle burning, Christmas music is playing in the background, and Nathan is down for a nap. So let's go ahead and get started. The recipe that I'm gonna be using today for the white bean chicken chili came off of Pinterest. And the recipe comes from Jessica Gavin. There's the information. And I'm kind of old-fashioned. I like to print off the recipe, and so I have it in front of me and I can put it in my recipe book. But I'm going to go ahead and show you all of the ingredients that are needed for this recipe. The recipe calls for fresh jalapenos, but I cheat and I use canned diced jalapenos, and it's still delicious, so you can do whatever you want to for that. Chopped green chilies, olive oil, garlic, yellow onion, ground cumin, boneless skinless chicken breasts, some chicken stock, and then it calls for white beans, and I use Great Northern beans, and then I use whole kennel sweet corn, and then kosher salt and black pepper. When it comes time to serve your soup, you can put whatever toppings you choose on it, but this is what we do: tortilla strips, some mild cheddar cheese, some sour cream, cilantro, chives, and avocado. For my no-bake cookies, this is actually a family recipe, and it calls for these ingredients: butter, sugar, milk, cocoa, vanilla, salt, peanut butter, and quick oats. As you guys can see, I started with the no-bake cookies. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups of sugar, 1/4 cup of cocoa, 1/2 cup of milk, and 3/4 of a stick of the butter. And then you just melt it over medium heat until it comes to a boil. So the butter is melted, I'm just waiting for the boil. As you can see, it has started to come to a boil. The recipe says to turn off the heat and let it cool for 1 minute. Okay, so the rest of the recipe called for a teaspoon of vanilla, a pinch of salt, 1/2 cup of peanut butter, and 3 cups of oatmeal. So I've just stirred that, and now I'm going to drop it onto parchment paper. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the final product. Oh my gosh, those look so delicious. I cannot wait to eat those later. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the mess from the no-bake cookies and get started on the soup, but I have a side note to share with any of my viewers who are breastfeeding moms. If any of you are having trouble with your milk supply and need a delicious way to up your milk supply, these no-bake cookies are an excellent source of that. I did this a lot when I was breastfeeding Nathan, and it worked like a charm, so just saying. so I'm done cleaning up from the no-bake cookies, and as you saw, I licked the pan clean, literally. But my co-host is awake, so I'm gonna go get him and make us lunch, and I'll show you guys what we're gonna eat for lunch today. It's not gonna be anything special, it's just gonna be like a typical lunch that we'd eat on any day, but once that's prepared, I'll show you what we're having. You guys, my co-host is up from his nap and ready to participate. Nathan, can you say hi? He's busy eating Cheerios, and our Christmas music has been replaced with a Mickey Mouse Christmas. Are you eating Cheerios? What's your shirt say? Dear Santa, I was the nicest. I think that's debatable. I think that's debatable. If any of you are new to my channel, this is my 17-month-old son, Nathan. And he is our first baby, and we just love him to pieces. For my lunch today, I'm going to toast a sesame seed bagel and put some salami, pepperoni, and turkey on it. And then I'm also going to do some cheese and just a little bit of cream cheese. I'm going to add some sliced onion, and then on the side I'm going to put a couple of kosher dill pickles and have some chips. So like I said, this isn't a healthy option, but this is what I'm going to eat. This is how my lunch turned out. As I said, that is a turkey, pepperoni, and salami sandwich. And then I forgot I had some Doritos open, so I just threw a few of those on the plate. A couple little pickles, and then a glass of water. How's your lunch, Nathan? Is that good?
Christmas Vacation, Sunday, 8:45, 7:45 Central on Freeform.
Nathan, how about you take a drink? Okay guys, so it is almost 2:30 and I just finished cleaning up the dishes. Nathan is finishing up his lunch, and I'm probably just gonna put on another episode of Mickey Mouse to keep him busy while I make this soup. But let's go ahead and get started so that this is ready in time for dinner. Okay, so I went ahead and sprayed the crock pot with some ham cooking spray, and now I'm gonna go ahead and get the ingredients ready. Calls for 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 4 cloves of garlic, 1.5 cups of yellow onion, and then 1 tablespoon of cumin. And you put that in a microwave-safe bowl. I went ahead and did 6 cloves of garlic and 2 cups of onion because that's what I had. So I'm gonna go ahead and dice up the garlic here and put it in the bowl. Okay, so the onions and garlic just cooked for 3 minutes, and it said to take it out and stir it, and then cook another 2 minutes. As you can see, I just trimmed off a little bit of the fat from the chicken and set it on top of the onions in the crock pot. I brought Nathan over to the living room so he could play. And again, to keep him entertained, I just turned on Trolls really quick. So hopefully I can finish making the soup really fast while he's playing. It calls for 1 cup of roasted green chilies divided. So this is a half of a cup. Sprinkle that over the top of the chicken. All right, the next thing that you add is 1.5 cups of corn. And I cannot remember last time if I drained the corn, so I'm gonna drain most of the liquid off of the corn and we'll see. All right, the next thing that you put on top is your white beans. Okay, if we look inside the slow cooker, on the very bottom, as you know, were the onions and the garlic, and then it was the chicken breasts. And then I topped that with a 1/2 cup of roasted chilies, 1.5 cans of corn, 1 cup of white beans, and then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of chicken stock. Okay, the next step of the recipe requires you to use your blender, and you puree a 1/2 cup of roasted green chilies, your jalapenos, 1 cup of beans, and a 1/2 cup of chicken stock until it's smooth, and that's about 45 seconds, the recipe says. And then you add that to the slow cooker. And I thought that seemed kind of weird to puree that stuff beforehand, but I think you can tell a difference in the soup, so definitely don't skip that step. Okay, if I'm being completely honest, I like spicy food, but not super, super spicy. So I'm not going to use a whole can of jalapenos. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'll probably use about 1/2 of this can. Okay guys, looks like I messed up. I put a whole cup of chicken stock in the slow cooker already, and you're only supposed to do a 1/2 cup, and then another 1/2 cup in the blender. So it might be a little soupier than I imagined, but that's all right. Okay, so that is the consistency of the puree, and we're going to add it to the slow cooker. Okay, so I went ahead and turned the slow cooker onto high, and I'm just going to give this a good stir. And like I said, I am a little worried that I have too much liquid in here, and if that's the case, I might just drain some of the liquid a little bit later, but we're going to see how much it sets up here. All right, now I'm going to add some black pepper. And some salt. And give it another good stir. And it already smells so good. All right, here is what the soup looks like. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on the soup. And it's on high, and it's going to cook for 3 hours. I'm going to finish cleaning up the kitchen and go play with my son Nathan. Once dinner is ready, I'll show you what the finished product looks like. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, leave a comment about what your favorite comfort food is in the winter and a recipe if you have one. See you next time. Bye.